Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Reluctant Navi back again. My news and views, my views on some of the news out here, and more news for the Black community and how we have to understand and know our history and not be partial to it. And we have to know more than just our history. A lot of brothers don't understand anything is because they think they know all about us and they barely know about us. A lot of brothers are lost because they don't study on their own. All right. And I should repeat this often. Yes, I am exposing some truths, right? But it isn't the ultimate truth. The reason why it's not the ultimate truth because I am not the Almighty. I really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what happened yesteryear because I wasn't there. I can't tell you what happened in the Garden of Eden because I wasn't there. But I can understand by human nature, by reading a whole bunch of texts. I have a pretty good grasp on this that what we were taught that happened isn't what happened. And intentionally, we were taught wrong so that we would be misled. Okay. And so it isn't that I'm not, I have all this truth. It's just that I know what the lie is. So when the black women say it's the black man's fault, I know that's a lie. Because anywhere where the black man is involved with the family, um, black people do pretty well. So it's not the black man. I have a video coming up. I don't know which one is going to make it up first, where it shows that black women are, and women period, are sorry when the man is not around. When women do stuff on their own, all evil indicators rises. Period. Which you get back to Genesis. It says that the man shall rule over you. And he made that very clear with that woman, right? Because she sought with her greed and vanity to be elevated over the man and to be up there with the Most High. So if the women think to be up with the Most High, how do you think they feel about elevating themselves over their man? Hmm. That's something to think about. If the women have aspirations to be higher than the creator, then she has no problem destroying the creation to get there. That's something to think about. Now, we must realize that there is no absolutes in everything. I was just arguing with a dude about white people and using an absolute term like all. If you notice, I haven't used an absolute term to say all women anything, so I'm not going to use it to say all white people or anything. But I will use it to say all systems are corrupt that the white people come up with. Because all that's what the scripture says. When you define corruption according to the scripture, all systems that white people come up, whether good intention or not, are corrupt. Because in their hearts is corruption. So corruption can only breed corruption. And I'm just saying that. All their systems, the banking systems, that's why they have to write so many laws to correct this, to correct that. And when they write laws to correct it, somebody else writes a law to get around the correction. Why? Because the system is corrupt. Any system that can be corrupted was a corrupt system to begin with. The Most High's commandments are good because there's no way around them. And you have liberty in them. Remember, sin isn't anything a pastor tell you doing or not doing that displeases him. It's simply breaking a commandment. And the commandments are hard to break. You would have to have corruption and evil in your heart to break the commandments. You have commandments about the diet. Those might be easy to break depending on how hungry you get. All right. But we're talking about and that's concerning your health. So if you want long health, all right, and you're not going according your diet is not going according to the commandments, then don't be surprised when you're dying early. All right, but how you treat people, how you treat the least of the people on earth is how the Most High judges you by how he's going to treat you. Period. And so I have to check a lot of people. All right. So basically, that's where I'm at with this, right? So just in case I forgot to do it, I'm gonna say what's up to everybody out here in YouTube land, right? And this is John Smith. That's the guy I wanted to name before. Sent um, me these videos to do a story on and have an opinion about or whatever. But this is Bobby Seale, one of the founders of the Black Panthers, and he provides some answers to the black community question to resolve some of the things. Now, like I treat him like everybody else that ignored the pink elephant in the room. All right. And this is that this matriarchal society that is only found in the black community, but led by um, the vision of white women, is still the source of our destruction. But how to get off from under it outside of after the black men get back to the commandments, that's another story. And that's what he may have some answers to. Where I draw the line is first, the brothers, before we start organizing anything, we got to find enough brothers that have gotten back to the commandments. And then the brothers and brothers only have to be at the head of that. And the brothers and brothers only must lead it. Nobody else but brothers, no women, no white people, no white funding. And if we're doing our job, then we would have sisters, good sisters that will want to unite with us, and we can fund it ourselves. Be self reliant and self sufficient. Now, I would like to thank John Smith for this and the other one. I want to ask his permission because you know the trolls and the haters, and these black women are evil enough to sick Pookie and Ray Ray on you and try to kill you. Now I have defenses for myself. I don't know who else does, so I don't like putting people out there until they give me permission, right? So I like to thank them, and let's give. Just have a listen to Bobby Seale.
Hey, people, let's not forget to get those thumbs up. We need to get them over 100 in the first couple hours. It hasn't really been happening, so come on, brothers and sisters, let's not drop the ball. All right, but thank you for watching. So I do have more people watching than going that extra step. For those that wanted to subscribe, to subscribe. For those that want to subscribe, when you click the subscribe button, click the bell. You might have to do it twice. All right. For those of you that like what the channel is doing for the community and what the channel is doing overall in waking people up, um, please donate to my PayPal me. You will see it in the description box. All right. But remember, take care of home first. Always. We must always take care of home first. All right. And from out of your abundance, your donations would be very much appreciated. All right. So let's kick it back to Mr. Seal.
Members. They're hurt, some of them, to this day. Most of them are not, because a lot of them are PhDs and master's degree people now. But my point is, this is the true demise. Now, there's 250 so people left. I'm trying to figure out what I do with you. Do I kill him? That's not me.
This is Huey Newton, you mean?
Yes, in after May and June into July of 1974. I can't kill Huey. I'm not a murderer. I had organized 5,000 people while he's sitting in jail. I confronted him with this. I says, I resign. You need to resign. The Black Panther Party is over. Oh, I'm all doped up. I'm trying to keep that. I says, you're not keeping anything together, Huey. You never kept anything together. You don't even know these party members. I'm the one that politically educated them. I'm the one that taught them demographics and how to set up programs, etc. I'm the one that spurned them. I'm the one that broke down quantitative increase and dialectics to them. You didn't do it. The party is over. I'm going to resign. I want you to resign. The party's over. I walks out. Get out of my house. You ain't nothing but a punk. I says, one thing I'm not, Huey, you know I'm no punk. So I'm 6 years older than Huey. He knows that if you do me wrong, I will hurt you. I walk out. Next thing you know, I decide I'm going to leave. And when I leave, I'm willing to bet. I'm not going to even let those 250 party members know I left. But when they find out I'm gone, they're going to walk off. And sure in hell, 4 weeks later, Lane Brown jumps up in a meeting and says, Bobby Seale has defected from the Black Panther Party. Guess what happened? 75% of more than 200 people in the auditorium say, the chairman's gone. I'm out of here. And they roll.
Now, some have noted, looking at what's happened to not so much the black community, but inner city problems with cuts in the whole kind of fiscal climate in North America, that the time is right for the emergence of new activist groups, much like the Panthers were in the 60s, today in the 90s. Do you see a lot of the conditions that caused the Panthers to emerge being replicated today?
It's very different. In the middle 1950s, we're talking only 400 duly elected politicians. You have over 10,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
Really, largely, when you talk about pushing, and even though it's not really the final revolutionary struggle, that's already been done. You don't need any guns. I wouldn't even emphasize guns.
That's interesting. I was going to ask.
They need to network. Every inter-community area need to network 1,000 video cams. There were no video cams in my day.
Right.
So we had law books and tape recorders and shotguns.
So the video cam that got
Remember,
Rodney
all we had
King
was a tape recorder. But we had to have that shotgun because they would jump on you, shoot you, brutalize you, and murder you. Now, if we can network from the windows and the blocks of the people like a town watch watching police barracks, we're not going to stop them from arresting the criminals in the community. You can't do that because you got too much criminal, dumb behavior that has nothing to do with any ideology of politics of liberation. It really has nothing to do with it. It's just a bunch of, I'm just saying, so what is a new organization supposed to be about? The first phase was trying to wipe the laws of segregation off the books with Martin Luther King, Thurgood Marshall, Rosa Parks. They evolved the movement to wipe 8. So 15, 16 years later, 90 and 95% of the written laws of segregation was wiped off the books from the 50s to the early 70s. The second phase was Bobby Seale, Kwame Ture, the Black Panther Party, SNCC, Rap Brown, and even OAAU with Malcolm X, when he finally got away from the Nation of Islam, created this secular kind of OAAU organization. That was all about trying to evolve that grassroots political electoral community power to get more participation in the system, right? The third phase is about economic liberation, and it still exists to this day. So whatever organization comes about, we got to get beyond names, and the content must be about higher education and economic liberation. Inclusive in that higher education is not only African and African American people's studies, it's Native American people's studies, it's all ethnic group studies. It's understanding humanity. And also realizing that we're getting ready, this is an information-based economy now. We're not dealing with an industrial age. We were coming out of, while the 60s was part of the peaking out of the industrial age over 300 years. Now we've evolved to this new information-based economy. We're talking about the 90s and moving into the year 2000. So for every little group to jump, we're the new Black Panthers, I'm asking, what is your ideology? Is it about education and economic liberation or not? And if it's not, I have no time for it.
What's your take on a lot of the interracial problems that are happening in minority communities in America right now? Black on Korean problems, black on Asian problems.
It's because most of that is generated by varying degrees of what I call xenophobic nationalism or naive black nationalism. These nationalist groups speak in terms of separation, et cetera, and so on. And they're coming from an old ideological approach. The problem with that is that they forget that this world is too interconnected and too interrelated. What they don't understand is black unity has to be about helping to humanize the world. I think that Nelson Mandela represents a profound example. On the one hand, remember 2 or 3 years ago, Brother Khalid Muhammad. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand Khalid Muhammad's growing up disenfranchisement and the racism, beating him on his head, and probably the police done brutalized him and killed. You know what I mean? So he jumped up 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, and when Nelson Mandela and them took over, they need to kill all the white folks. And if there's an old white man in a wheelchair, you need to push him off a cliff. Now, what is that? That's stooping to the same level of a Hitler-type racist Ku Klux Klan. And a lot of times these guys emotionally feel that this is justified because it was done to black folks. But that is not the goal objective of the struggle. This is where the right-wing racists on the other end are able to use that to justify a perpetuation of the exploitation, murder, and brutality of people of color. The true goal objective is where Nelson Mandela is coming from. To get control of the political, economic, and social justice institutions, it's going to take him a few years to get greater control of the security forces there and the real political procedure to a point where when he says we're going to have a non-racist society and a non-sexist society. To have a non-sexist society is to focus in on what human liberation is about. That is the goal objective. In other words, black unity only for a catalyst to help humanize the world.
What kind of tactics do you think are going to be necessary to gain that economic, social, and political control? What activists out there are doing things that impressed you today?
I love the way, was it Greenpeace or Green Party and the groups on the internet signed this petition against the French government for its renewal of nuclear testing.
Yeah.
How can we get more creative with that as form part of the tactic? We have to understand that we can get across border lines, we can communicate. I mean, people are going to have to create tactics that are going to, where you're arguing some civil human rights issue, you're going to have to show its interconnection with how the environment is being described.
What about the Louis Farrakhan's and the other black leaders who've come to prominence in the last...
Well, Louis Farrakhan is a reverend, a preacher, whatever, he's sort of a messiah type guy, but I have to give him credit for more recently in terms of organizing tactics. The African American Economic Development Council, to me, was the most important thing he said. It represented coalition, political, community organizing. He has to work with 25 other black organizations totally outside of the Nation of Islam, with the African American Economic Development Council. You see what I'm getting at? So, depending on if that goes positive, that's the most important thing he said in that whole speech. My point is, it's probably a growth level for him. He had to stop castigating Jewish people based on an old 2,000-year-old religious war that's been going on in the Middle East. You know what I mean? I'm tired of it. And if we get beyond him, I think Jesse Jackson's speech was very significant at that Million Man March. And people need to listen to that. What he was talking about. Next time there's a march, we need to have a 5 million people march. Men, women, black, white, blue, red, green, yellow, and polka dot. That's the next march that need to come down.
And what lies ahead for Bobby Seale?
Bobby Seale, I'll probably produce this film, Seize the Time, with the real authentic high drama of the Black Panther Party. Black Panther Party's history on the big screen. Out of that, we hope to raised some money to create the Environmental Renovation Youth Jobs Project, particularly in Philadelphia is the first example, then maybe to Detroit and some other cities. Idea is you got to raise that $10 million. I'll take the cookbook, Barbecuing with Bobby, put it on CD-ROM now, add some more recipes, a new edition on CD-ROM, and help market that. And up to 50% of those funds will help go to the Environmental Renovation Youth Job Program Project. Actually,
This is where you're encouraging kids to renovate cars and...
No, we're structuring it in such a way, under reach, but the Environmental Renovation Youth Project will also be a nonprofit entity where we, former party members, the handful I'm working with, we're actually hiring professional supervisors, professional carpenters, builders, drywallers, electricians, roofers, etc. They'll be paid union scale with all the retirement and stuff. But they'll have anywhere from 3 to 6 youth that they'll be teaching to do this actual work. And we'll be able to pay those youth $7.50, $8.50 an hour, renovating old houses and renovating old cars, and also step by step involving electrical automobile technology, alternative energy frameworks for the renovated housing. You see what I'm getting at? Putting it back on the market, the money is paid back to the...
Right.
Make these real jobs and then teach human resources skills. They work 40 hours a week, 5 hours as human resources skills. You sit on a computer and you're going to have to learn how. And we will teach you and show you to fill out your grant papers to be able to go to college or grade school. And if you're in this program 2.5 years, you're going to learn everything from against violence, decent relationships between male and female. Half of our program will be male, females in them anyway. And if we could spread this around the country, 100,000, 1 million youth in the next 10 years doing this kind of work, jobs, et cetera, boom, 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 then we've changed. And then it's community control economics and it's financially self-sufficient. We don't want any damn government in it. Get out of here with your racist, politicking ass. Leave us alone. This is a community control economic endeavor. And people rehabilitate themselves because that's a large portion of their human liberation.
Well, Bobby Seale, for you it seems the struggle always goes on.
Oh, yes.
I'd really like to thank you very much for taking some time out of that schedule and talking with us.
Thank you.
All right, fellas. Now let's talk about the other elephant in the room, the pink elephant in the room. All right, brothers, when all you chase after is this, to the left, don't be surprised when you end up with this situation on the right. This is why I say black women should not be involved in anything that we are trying to do. Our sisters can be involved, but we must take the lead. No more do we let our sisters lead us or lead anything we're involved in that is improving the family and the community. No more do we ever let that happen. Y'all see what it is now. Even though black men took the lead with the Black Panthers, black men took the lead and got assassinated with what Malcolm was doing, what Martin Luther King was doing, Medgar Evers, Emmett Till. All these people got assassinated. The nasty black woman come up and say, a black man ain't never led nothing. He ain't never did nothing for us. All right. So even though you die making big organizations whose programs the black women enjoy today, like WIC, Head Start, free ambulances, after school program for them little baby children, school breakfast program, Meals on Wheels when they get old. See, black men came up with that. Their organizations, which black women subverted. All right. And my brother told you how they subverted it. They got to one of the leaders and then corrupted it from the inside using their sexuality. They were screwing many of the dudes, got them fighting each other over the women, over some booty. All right. Now they're using this booty to entice us, to put us in this situation where we soon get headed to the Division of Child Support Services. Oh, and don't think the Hispanics won't do that to you too. Because you notice it's written in English and Spanish. This is how they tie up our money so that we can never unite and do any good. And this is why, as individuals, it's hard, but as brothers, if we come together, pool our money, we can get stuff done. All right? Because we got the black woman that is circumventing anything we try to build, and they will try to kill it. Think about it. How many brothers' channels got shut down that was telling truth? Oh, this is why you brothers, when y'all go and see brothers' channels and they're telling the truth and stuff like that, be sure you thumbs up. All you brothers, all you people in support of it, thumbs up, is because these black women will do nothing but come to the channel just to thumbs down the channel without watching a single minute of the video. Period. All right? That's how evil they are. All right, so you heard what the man had to say, right? So here are my final thoughts. All right, I'm saying we need to organize and get together. I'm doing stuff already. I have some plans in the work. I have reached out to a couple of people, and I'm gonna really do my due diligence this week and next week. So those of you that are at my kind of private email, I'm gonna be hitting y'all up. All right, and I've talked to some of you about what I want to do, and I wanted you to look over this again and again and tell me what kind of ideas you have and what you think you could come up with. All right. With that said, I'm out.